a part of For The Culture as well is so that we can do it for our own cultures. Like, we have media that exists. We have doctors. We have lawyers. We have food. Like, we have all of the things that we need. And sometimes people don't know where to go. So we just wanted to have a place where people knew where to go to look for the resources they need.
Damn, dog, you made that beat?
I ball like J-Bo. Had to cut them off and push away, they know I'm still lit. Life of a boss, I eat my body, but I'm still rich. Had to change the circle, focus up, make us all rich. Ain't seeing what I'm seeing, I can never beef about no small shit. Talk money, yeah, I'm all in. I'm break beer with my team, rest, I'm ballin'.
Peace, love, and light to the world. I'm your host, Sean Smith, and you tune back into In the Skin. Today we have a very special guest. I would like to introduce. She is a community leader, activist, organizer, the one and only Mrs. Ohun.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Thank you for coming. This is going to be dope. So how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, trying to start the day off right. And I get to sit here with one of my favorite people. So
That means a lot. I appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank you. So what tattoo we about to get into?
So this tattoo is actually extremely special. It's For The Culture STL, which is an organization I started in 2018, trying to promote, uplift Black-owned people, Black things, just businesses at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dope.
So this is the logo I created myself, trying to come up with it because it was such a process. I just had the thought and went with it. So yeah.
I like the concept. I mean, it got the St. Louis Arch in there, the monument. The STL is dope. One of my favorite parts is how the city, like, kind of shows at the bottom. Like, I think that's very unique. And then obviously for the culture. So it's a dope piece. I'm honored to be able to do it today. A couple things, like what I'm gonna be using for all of my tattoo people out there is a 15 round shader, a 5 round liner, and a 11 curve mag. So yeah, let's get it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
It's been a while too.
How long has it been?
I think since 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. What was the last tattoo you got?
this one with all the faces.
That's dope.
Thanks.
What faces are there?
So these are different civil rights activists, and they don't have like the faces filled in because I wanted to feel like I could, be like them, or other people that see it are like them. So it's like Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Ida B. Wells, Asada, just trying to represent for our ancestors and elders.
That's tight.
Thank you.
Who did that tattoo?
Damo Julio, before he passed.
That's dope. That's dope. Rest in paradise to Damo. He was a dope artist for sure. A good friend of mine actually. Yeah, he did his thing. He was always cold at color.
Yeah.
I like it. What made you choose those specific leaders?
Yeah, I feel like these icons like touch my life in different ways. So Malcolm X is the first at the bottom because that was one of the first like leaders that really impacted my life, learning about like what he cared about and how he was able to grow his activism. Because back in that time when women were really left out, he decided to like do things to be inclusive to women and like learn. Then we have like Fred Hampton, who was a phenomenal speaker, and he could really like bring the community together, and that's so inspiring when we talk about like work for activism. Marsha P. Johnson is a Black trans woman. One of the reasons that we have Pride today, and a lot of people don't tell her story.
Oh,
so I
wow.
think it's definitely important to uplift her. Asada is one of the coldest to do it. I've looked up to her for a long time, and then Ida B. Wells being a writer. of it all, like being a person to keep our stories alive, I think is super important.
Okay, that's amazing. I like that. What got you into this space in the beginning?
Activism.
Yeah.
Okay, so like it started, I always give the utmost respect to Mike Brown Jr. in Ferguson, but it started with a man named Troy Davis. He was on death row and it was too much doubt, but they executed him anyway. So at the time, I was at school at SEMO and I was becoming a Delta. So I decided to put a program together called Save My Dying Soul to talk about all of the injustice happening around like black folks and, you know, just what we receive in the system. But what like really catapulted me into activism was just like so many people 10 years ago with Mike Brown Jr. And Darren Wilson, and just seeing the reality of how the injustice system works like in our own city.
Yeah. So yeah, the Mike Brown Jr. moment was crazy. I remember I was in high school at the time, and I remember they closed down the schools and everything. But it was a very emotional, and I feel like shift for the culture in itself because it hit so close to home.
Yeah, whenever like people talk about it, especially since it's a really big reflection time since the 10-year coming up, I think about like where we were August 8th, 2014, what life looked like, what community looked like, and all of those things were completely different than what we see today. So there's a lot of like Ferguson erasure, I feel like that happens currently in activism, but I'm like, it literally, the modern movement we see today started here. Like we was literally battling militarized police in the middle of West Florissant. Like
No, serious.
that's wild.
Yeah. And like with you was front and center of that.
You know, a little bit.
A little bit.
I say
How,
back then I was a little bit more behind the scenes. My
yeah.
background is journalism and video production, so I was really just kind of capturing at the
Okay.
moment because I feel like at that time, even when the first like looting happened after the first night and all of that, I grew up in Jennings, so I was kind of upset about like the burning of West Florissant at first. So I went out there to clean up, and when it was when I was out there, I was educated about what was really happening, and I just wanted to use my camera to educate other people. So I always say like in the beginning, it was the other folks like that was front line going toe to toe. I was just really there to like amplify the voices.
Okay. So how did you feel being in that environment? Like what was your emotions like?
I mean, it was intense. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen community in the purest form because all you had out there was each other, and you're literally battling police with military grade weapons. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know what to do. You have all of this feeling and emotion and anger, and you're just trying to do something out of it. And then for me, I had never had encounters with police like that. And I think August 13th, like 4 days afterwards, I got arrested for the first time out there. So it was like my first time getting into the system and just seeing what it's like feeling less than human and everything. So it was just an eye opener on all kind of levels.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's not the best thing, but I'm not gonna lie. If I was getting into the system, that's how I would want to go into the system.
Like if I gotta go, this is
Yeah,
how I
this
do
how
it.
I'm going out. On cap for real. But that's crazy. Before we get too deep into that and a little bit of your background, like how many tattoos do you have so far?
So I have not counted in a while, but I think it's like anywhere between the 15 and 20 range.
Okay. Oh
Somewhere
yeah,
in there.
you was it.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I was one of those rebellious kids, so I got like my first tattoo at like 15 or 16,
Mm,
and I just been going since then.
yeah.
hmm
Did your parents know, or did you like sneak and
hmm
go get it?
The first one, she had to go get it notarized for me to like legally be able to go get it.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a thing back then or because of how young I was, but my mom started it all.
That's what's up. That's cool. So that's a good way to go in.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But I will say, like, my first tattoo was one of the most like basic ideas ever. I just got my zodiac sign.
Yeah. It's like it was safe, I would say.
Right.
You
Right.
can't go wrong with. Yeah, it's something you can't go wrong with. Like, all right, I
Yeah.
know I'm not gonna regret this. Like, it's either a zodiac sign, a birthday, your mom's name,
I was
like
gonna say,
something
what do
like
you
that.
usually see for the first ones?
Yeah, it's always you can tell it's the first one because it's always like the safe one,
Mm-hmm.
like a Bible scripture or like
Yeah.
something like that. It's like, now you can't go wrong with that. That's what's up. Do you have any like worst tattoo experiences?
Not really. I just had like a really painful tattoo experience. So I had had a couple by this time, so I thought I could do this. Like I thought I was one of them people that would never feel the pain of a tattoo. So I got something on my ribs and baby. I almost tapped out, was about crying. It was so bad. I thugged it out because you just got to stick to it. But
My ribs
that
hit
was
different.
probably the worst experience.
Yeah, what you get on your ribs?
It's like it's so embarrassing. It's like
Oh
because
yeah, let me hear it.
it's so random, but it's like a heart shaped lollipop,
A heart shaped
basically.
lollipop.
Don't ask me what it means, what it was for. I just thought it was cute
I
at the
was sure about
time.
to say what
I was
made you
such
get that one.
a like I want a tattoo. Let's go get one random and whatever I came up with. And at the time, being like 19, that sounded like a good idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's funny. So what is this? What is I see this one? What does this one mean,
Mhm.
Steve?
So this is like a Afrocentric piece. So it has Andrinka symbols and also like African symbols. So like the African flag. And some of the symbols I got is like justice, freedom, and liberty. So this is one of the pieces that was like when I was finding myself, like when I was starting to be clearer in my activism and finding my passion and finding who I am and like getting connected to like our roots.
Yeah,
Because again, before 2014, we wasn't really talking about like where we come from or like being pro-black or what that looks like.
exactly.
So this was just like my first piece of like I would say like finding that part of me.
That's dope. That's dope. What do you feel like was? Do you have any that you regret?
No.
No.
Even for the more like sillier ones or the ones that I look at today, like, girl, I just feel like it captures a moment of time. It reminds you like a piece of yourself, a piece of your history, and
Yeah.
it just symbolizes so much. I would say I don't have any that I regret, but I have a whole bunch that just is nonsense.
Yeah. Like spur of the moment.
Yes. In the
I
moment
feel you.
decisions, didn't have anything better to do. A lot of mine came during like college time. Again, I went to SEMO, so that's Cape Girardeau. It's not too much for us to do. So you
Yeah.
just go get a tattoo.
That makes sense. What did you go to? What did you go to college for? Was it journalism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started off in journalism because I've always had a passion for like telling people stories. I think people are amazing and learning about them and just how we all are shaped in life and find our own reality in it. So I really love learning about people. So I went into journalism, but I didn't really like the structure of journalism. It was really boring. You got to say to a lot of like critiques and all of that. So I ended up picking up video production too, because I wanted to make documentaries and just do more with like that storytelling piece. So I graduated with video production and journalism, and then I had a minor in sports management because at the time I was a huge sports girly. So I thought I was gonna be a commentator on ESPN or something.
Yeah. So that's great. So do you? So obviously, I mean that helped. did it play? Do you feel like it helped a little bit with
Hmm.
what you're doing today?
I feel like again, like all things kind of come full circle. The journalism definitely gave me the skills to like record and tell our stories. The video production side comes in with that as well. And then for my full time job, I do video work. So it still all works.
That's dope. That's what's up. So, do you have a favorite tattoo other than the one I'm doing right now? I know it's the favorite. But do you have like another one?
So it just so happened that this young fella that's currently tattooing me also did another tattoo of my sunflower. That is like my happy tattoo, if that makes sense. Like tattoos represent so much to me. So when I was getting the sunflower, that was just like another point in my life where like finding myself, finding freedom, finding peace. Like it was
Right.
super important to me. And I don't know if you remember, but when I first walked in, I just wanted like a little outline of the sunflower with some words, and you was like,
Yeah, I
"Nah,
remember that.
we got to do something bigger than that." And it
Yeah,
turned into like this masterpiece, which is absolutely like my most looked at tattoo from people and one of my favorite tattoos.
that's dope. It held out so good.
It sure
The artist that did it
did.
is amazing. That color on
It's
dark
so
skin.
good. You should
Yeah,
book with him.
I'm considering it. I need that. So since we're doing a for the culture tattoo today, could you tell me a little bit about this, a little bit more about it and like its impact on the community?
Yeah. So I feel like to tell the story of For the Culture, you got to go back a little bit. So we talked about like Ferguson, Mike Brown, in that time period. But in 2017, there was this other uprising that was starting to happen over Jason Stockley, Officer Jason Stockley, and Anthony Lamar Smith. Jason Stockley killed Anthony Lamar Smith in 2011, and he never went on trial or anything until 2017. And like with the footage and everything that was out there, we kind of just knew that we weren't going to see any justice. So we decided to organize. So this time, like my role changed from like that videographer that I was saying before into like more of an organizer. So like making the flyers, coming up with the protests, like all of those things. And we went into like another heavy protest season, like economically shutting St. Louis down to have our voices heard. And we went on for like 3 months. And then as it started to like slow down, and people are starting to go into politics, starting their own organizations, going into like legislation and all of that. I was just really thinking like, what is my way to impact community? How can I make community better? And I was already like heavily like going to black owned businesses, supporting black owned. But it was this narrative happening at the time with crime rising, that like we didn't have things in our community, we didn't have things to do, we didn't have businesses. So I was like, at that time, I'm going to things and posting on Facebook, but how much better would it be just to have one centralized location to go to places? So For the Culture STL actually started off as just a website that's a directory of black owned businesses broken down into categories from food, lawyers, doctors, whatever you're looking for. And then it also had events on there, so they can't say we don't have things to do, because look at all of these things that we have to do. So that was the first part of it and one side of it. And then with just like the ongoing growth of it all, we started getting into events and like resourcing community as well.
That's dope. That's amazing. That's amazing. What type of events and stuff do y'all be doing for the community?
Yeah. So one of the biggest events we have is the Culture Kickback. It's an event that happens the Sunday after August 9th. So August 9th is the day Mike Brown was murdered.
Right.
that week can be really heavy leading into it, going through it. So that Sunday we had a culture kickback as a way to like reclaim joy, and just a time to reclaim like connection. So we have like free food for the community, skate party, DJs, vendors, and it's just like a time to come together and just like celebrate what blackness is in St. Louis. So that's one of the things that we have. We also do a ton of collabs. We do movie theater buyouts for like black owned films to support the arts as well.
That's tight.
We do things with like gun wound workshops with the TSTL because we also want to have an impact on the reality of St. Louis, and we do have a lot of shootings here. So getting the community to learn how to save lives, because
Yeah.
I think it was like last year, I watched 2 lives on Facebook from someone being shot and people just standing around, and it's in St. Louis, and they're just standing around. They don't know what to do. It's taking forever for like the ambulance to get there. And I was just like, we got to give people the skills of what to do. So it's an organization called the TSTL that already does that. So just helping to amplify what already exists here too.
Okay, so that's great. So it's like it's a system created to basically show you what to do in a scenario if something like that was to happen.
So it teaches you like it's these different setups and you learn at each of the stations. So it could be how to like dress a gun wound, how to tie it off. Like you get a kit at the end, so you have like all of the tools and like all of that. You go through a video, a simulation. Like it's really detailed, and they also offer the classes for free.
That's dope. I like that. I think it's dope because if we can't always depend on, you know what I'm saying, other people to take care of our community and make sure that we take care of each other.
Yeah.
So we gotta make sure we do that.
Like learn how to take care of ourselves, which is a part of for the culture as well, is so that we can do it for our own cultures. Like we have media that exists, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have food. Like we have all of the things that we need, and sometimes people don't know where to go. So we just wanted to have a place where people knew where to go to look for the resources they need.
I like that. I like that. What are some things that you feel like that the city is is kind of lacking on that you think that we need to do like better at doing, or that we need more community involvement in to change?
Yeah. I think the city has a wide open lane when it comes to like just simply things to do. It's so many people that's coming into the city, but it's so many people that's leaving the city too because people don't know what to do here. Like they don't know where to go. It's no like I feel like we're missing like a culture of just life, like being able to flourish with nightlife or just activity, family stuff, or if you a young adult, we just are missing those avenues. And the thing that I love about St. Louis on the whole other side of that is that it's parts of the city that are creating that. So like we are a huge festival city. Like every weekend there is a festival going on. So we create those things, but it would be nice to have something more stable and then also like investing and it pouring into the people that are doing that work.
I like that. I think that's a good, that'll be a good contribution as well.
And you see the city like amplifying that a little bit with like the city social. They're doing the like downtown summer nights now. So it's like it's starting to be incorporated. And I just hope like they continue that because I think that that puts the heartbeat back into the city.
That's exactly what we need. We gotta balance out the violence and bad stuff that's going on. And I think for the most part, it's only coming from, you know what I'm saying, boredom. You know what I'm saying?
Not having much to do. Like we used to go to lock-ins. Like we used to have like places to go at the like younger age group, and when you don't have that and you just have like open time, we have folks running the streets, getting into things, and you just got to give them something to do. And a part of that is inviting them into the conversation and figuring out what it is that they would be interested in too.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I feel like generations kind of end up forgetting about other generations when we all can learn from each other versus,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, only focusing on like what do we like, what do we want to do,
Yeah, or
like
what we used to do. Like,
yeah, like
times are
yeah,
completely different. We didn't have phones.
yeah, it's different. Like, so the board have to be of all ages, of
Yeah.
all ages, ethnics, everything, so it could be well rounded. Everybody can win.
And it's possible. And I still think that we like are on the road to that. I think we have to get there a little bit faster. And I think we have to like expand who's involved too.
Okay, who do you feel like, or what do you feel like needs to be involved
Well,
more?
I definitely feel like businesses aren't asked enough. Like, people that are in the community aren't asked enough. I think sometimes we go to like the influencers or the political people or the people that already have like really big names when you forget about the people that are going to experience it in the first place. And I also think like businesses should have way more say in what happens in St. Louis and also like be able to provide for the community that they sitting in too.
Right. Right. And then you also do something that kind of incorporates the business yearly, right? It's in February. What? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So it actually happened because there were articles being released about like things to do in St. Louis, and it didn't include anything black. And I think the black community has a culture in St. Louis that is so special. It's so beautiful. We are St. Louis. So because of that, I decided to, during Black History, do a series called 28 or 29 Days of Black on St. Louis. So every day during Black History Month, we highlight a different business. We go in there, we purchase, we record, we film, and then we post the content on all of our platforms. And it has been received like super well.
That's dope. I like that. How long? How many years? What year was it?
I
Has
think
it been
this
in?
year was 3. So year 1, it just started off as like graphics. We just put together like little photos with a little bit of information. And in the past 2 years, we've been doing video content to support it. So just alone in that, that's what almost 90 days, so like 90 businesses almost of like people to uplift. And that's another thing that we try to show St. Louis is like, look how many businesses we do have. Like,
That we don't even know about half
yeah,
the time. So having a platform like this, like, it gives people that the opportunity to find out about stuff that they don't
yes,
even know. Like, following your platform, I done found out so much. I'm like, I didn't even know it was all of this cultural stuff happening in the city
yes.
like that.
And that's like the whole point. And until like, I feel like St. Louis as a whole can really uplift us, then we got us. And we gonna let y'all know like what we got going on.
How's this tattoo feeling? On a scale of 1 to 10.
So this is not bad at all, and I feel like talking while it's happening is really helping. So I give it like a 2.
A 2?
Yeah,
This is lightweight.
lightweight. But I told you I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, you came ready. Came prepared.
Prepared.
Do you have any other tattoo ideas or concepts that you thinking about getting in the future, or you kind of just go with the flow?
Not right now. I'm so much more intentional with tattoos now since I started off just like getting them whenever I was bored. I really want to be in the space of what I know that I'm putting on my body is like what I want there. So as of now, there's no concept. I've been wanting to St. Louis tattooed for so long. So being able to like get my own logo tattooed is, I don't know what could beat that.
Yeah, can't nothing beat that. They don't get no better.
Yeah.
It's here to stay. It's permanent. So where do you see For The Culture going heading in the future?
That is actually a really good question. So, right now, I feel like we are in a building stage. So, like I said, it was supposed to start off as just like a website. And then it grew into all of these things. So, we weren't able to get like the foundation solid. So, becoming a 501c3 so we can start going out for grants and receiving funding so that we can just amplify. Because really, all I want for the culture is to fill in the gaps where the resources for us is needed. So I would love to have some sort of like funding or something for like if a black owned business needs something, they can apply with us to get the funding or get what they need. Yeah. So just like I said, just like filling in those gap areas, continuing to mental health is really important for us in our community right now. So like being able to provide that for free for community. So I feel like it's going wherever we are needed, but we just got to get that solid base first. A lot of times when I tell people like we haven't been a 501c3 this entire time, they are like really surprised about that and like how much we've been able to accomplish. And that's why I always tell people like follow that passion. It'll take you where you're supposed to go. Because even seeing your growth over the years, like it has been impeccable. And I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree 100%. The passion over profit. Everything else will come.
It will literally come to you.
Focus on passion. Through passion, we find purpose, and that's what it's. That's really all it's about. And that's dope. I like that.
Do you feel like you found purpose?
I have. I do. I feel like I have. Allowing people, well, like, being given the opportunity to allow people to express themselves, but also spread positivity through it. Like like what we doing here with In the Skin, like creating a platform for people to be able to talk about what they got going on and stuff like that. Like it's one thing to just tattoo. Like I feel like passion is kind of selfish. Like that's what feeds yourself. But like the purpose is the selfless part.
Ooh, that's a word.
So it's like if we could use our passion to find that. That's really what I'm doing.
The connecting the two. Come on now, preacher.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to see. We almost done. Yeah, we just got a little bit of shading. What do you do like when you're not saving the world? What are you doing when you're not saving the world?
Ooh, right now it's all about the self care. Like really finding those things that bring me joy because when you show up in community, a lot of times we can get attached to the feeling of doing for others in a way that it makes you feel. But if you pour into that too much, you can forget about yourself. So, like, taking a step back and making sure you're pouring into yourself as well. So, self care for me right now looks very like individual, like journaling, meditating. I'm really into plants right now. So, like, taking care of my plants and just watching them grow.
I love me some plants.
Yes. You got a favorite?
Yeah, I got this snake plant. Like it just started growing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's getting tall. I'm gonna have to repot it soon, but
Come on, repot.
yeah, I love plants. So it's it's kind of crazy. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got excited. You said plant.
Yeah, plants, I think when you see, well, first of all, I didn't realize plants had so many personalities. So like my plants be throwing fits, they get attitudes if they thirsty, or like watching them grow, and it feels like an extension of like our experience here and how we show up. And like when we're nurtured and fed and we have what we need, how we show up versus when we don't. So I just feel like it's such a connection. So when I see my plants happy, it makes me happy.
100%. When your plant's happy, that means that you in sync with your life. Like I've noticed that. Like when it can be times where we can get distracted by the world,
Yes.
and then you look at your plants and they kind of like, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
Like you distracted,
yeah.
like what's going on? But once your plants start growing out of nowhere and standing upright and flourishing, and then you
Yes.
pay attention to your personal life, it's like
It's
it's
a
all in
line.
sync. Yeah.
It's a line.
So
It's a
having
way to be able to still tune in with yourself
yeah
because you got to make sure they cool too.
yeah. So having plants is a gem to life. It's a hidden gem, man. Get you some plants.
You dropping all the gems right
Nah,
now.
this gonna keep you. This gonna get you together.
Hmm.
Keep us in line.
And with you having to care for them, it also reminds you to care for yourself
Yeah, that
too.
part. You gotta care for yourself before you can care for the plant.
Hmm.
Like I water the plant. Like as I'm eating breakfast, I'm like I'm
Hmm.
eating. Like we both eating.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You say you into you do yoga and stuff too?
I don't do yoga as much, but I do a lot of meditating and
Yeah.
then a lot of like journaling. And then I'm also in this phase of life of like trying to sit still. Because I think another thing that we go through is feeling like our life isn't worthy if we're not producing. And sometimes like you cannot again produce from like an empty cup. So learning to just sit still and like rest and just be and just exist, and also like sitting still with your mind,
Right.
because a lot of us stay busy too because we don't want to deal with our own inner feelings and inner thoughts. So it's like really important for me as like you grow to really stay connected with myself so that I can keep like a, attention to like the things that's meant to be in my life and the things that like no longer serve me.
Right. And it's coming from I say a cleaner space, a
Mhm.
clearer space.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something I've been talking about a lot lately too with people is that time for reflection. Like we
Yes.
move so fast that like who really thinks to be like at the end of the day, like let me take a moment to just think about how my day went or how my week went or my month, like,
Mhm.
and then let's pick it back up from there.
And they're actually like dealing with it too.
Yeah,
Because, like you said, we so busy. So, even if you do take the time and think about it, you're like, all right, I'm not feeling good in this area. Are you really going to pick up and do what's needing to be done with it? But I think that's something, just like you have to train yourself and practice for anything else in your life, you got to train yourself to take care of you as well. So, you got to pay attention to those things because we all going to grow. We all have some sort of destiny here. Um, how it comes to you, how you navigate it, all of those things are skill sets. And you can only grow that by like really being in tune and tapped in with yourself.
100%. Before we wrap this up, I want to ask you a question. Like, what if you was to define the word community in your own way? Like, how would you define
Community
it?
is support, is love, it's accountability. And I think it's all wrapped up in the same goal. So if it's protection, if it is connectedness, but I think that you have to have that balance of like holding folks accountable while loving them at the same time and supporting them at the same time and helping them grow at the same time.
Yeah, that's dope. It's like, yeah, you need to get your stuff together, but
Mhm.
I'm still here for you.
Yeah.
But you tripping, but I got you.
Like I love you. I want to see the best of you, but you messing up right now. And then it's also trust, because trusting that coming from you, like, I don't got to get defensive. I don't have to get reserved or any of those things. Like, I can hear that and I can take that and I can grow from it. It's safety. Community is safety.
Right, it's people we can go to with open arms. It take a village.
Yes.
We can't do nothing alone. Like, we need each other. Everything is a collaborative effort to be able to build something great.
Yes. And that's why, like, this kind of trend now of, like, individualism is so confusing to me, because it's like you literally need community for any form of anything.
Yeah, but you know the agenda though. But it's like you know the agenda. Yeah, but individualism is crazy. That don't even sound right. Cause it clearly just takes multiple things to create anything, and we see it in life and nature and creation, and just in everything.
Look at it.
Look good.
Yes.
I'm glad you like it. It's on you forever, so you know.
Listen, the only person I really trust right now is you. It's something permanent on my body.
That's the thing about tattoos. Like, the longer I've been tattooing, the more I realize how spiritual it is, but also like how much accountability, like, with y'all putting the trust in our hands like that, to put something permanently on you, like to change your, like, the way you look, your aesthetic for the rest of your life. I mean, you can get it removed and stuff, but who want to go through that?
Exactly. You didn't get it to get it removed.
Right. So it's a very high stress occupation.
I can only imagine.
Why I be meditating and praying all the time.
But see, that part is part of the reason that, like, I'm just so proud of you though too, because you get the impact that you're having on a person that you may not have ever met before, or somebody that, like, you've been building with, like, you're a part of their community. You know, like, even with Damo passing, it's like I feel like I represent a part of his artwork. So the fact that you even, like, are tuned in like that, I think that's an importance in, like, when we talk about connections too. Like, connections are everywhere. Community is everywhere. You find it in your tattoo artist.
Right. Yeah, we like the therapist, the everything.
I can only imagine.
It's like a checkpoint. We like a checkpoint in the game. Like, I need to go here and check in, especially when you got an artist that's, you know what I'm saying, that you can really conversate with and talk about life and stuff like that. Like, the goal is to leave out of here inspired, you know what I'm saying, feeling good, motivated, and ready to attack life again. It's like a short little break, or like intermission. So it's definitely deeper than the tattoos. Deeper than the surface, right?
Yeah.
In the skin.
It's in the skin.
There it is.
I love
What
it
you
so
think?
much. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
That's it. This is another episode of In the Skin. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe.
Damn, dog, you made that.
Trying to grow this. Trying to impact the world, impact the city first. St. Louis, this is where it's starting. So this is where we're trying to bring more light to. And in addition to the light that's already been shined on the city. So, and then follow the social media page. She's not gonna say it. She's too humble. So follow the social media page. It's For The Culture.
For The Culture STL on everything.
Yeah, everything. So, that's it. Peace, love, and light.
So my reflection on the In the Skin podcast experience is that it's so special. I think we are in a time right now where podcasts are a thing, and podcasts are really meant to connect. And when you think about getting a tattoo experience, is you connecting with yourself, with the artwork, with the artist. So the concept makes sense, and then just experiencing that vulnerability of connecting on top of like getting a tattoo at the same time, I think it makes sense. And it's a way to like really reflect on your life, on your previous tattoos, on your experiences. So I'm so thankful for Shine and sharing this platform. Make sure y'all follow.